Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's when he tried biting. I ain't even noticed that till somebody said something. Somebody said he tried to bite me. I ain't know nothing till somebody said that shit after the fight. And look, they talking about it.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Of course, another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but...
Nah, that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty. He know that heat coming.
After the round 9 controversy, Roach now claims Davis tried to bite his ear in round 6, comparing it to Mike Tyson's infamous moment with Evander Holyfield. Roach landed more clean shots and controlled key moments of the fight, making many questions about the final decision. Then, Joe Budden added to the fire with a bold statement fully backing Roach. "I owe that man an apology. He certainly gained my respect. Really great fight. The best fight I've ever seen against Tank. I think he won. I do too. If they counted the knockdown, he wins." Budden's words have sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Many now believe Roach was denied a rightful victory. The fight's outcome is being questioned more than ever, with fans and analysts dissecting every moment. Roach's performance proved he belongs at the highest level. The pressure is mounting on Davis as the demand for a rematch grows louder. Former fighters, trainers, and analysts have all weighed in, with most agreeing that Roach deserved better. Many believe the knockdown in round 9 should have been counted, which would have changed the outcome entirely. Sergio Mora, a former world champion and respected analyst, also shared his thoughts, adding fuel to the fire. Speaking on the controversial moment, he didn't mince words. He stated, "It was just a great performance by Roach. Too bad that the judges didn't believe him, and they didn't count that a knockdown. It was terrible." His statement echoes what many fans and analysts have been saying since the final bell. Roach's effort in the ring was undeniable, yet the official decision told a different story. The calls for a rematch are only growing stronger, and the demand for accountability isn't slowing down. Boxing insiders are now questioning whether this fight will spark changes in how fights are judged, especially in high-profile matchups. Roach's team remains vocal, refusing to let the controversy die down as the boxing world watches closely. As the debate continues, another major voice in combat sports has spoken. Joe Rogan. Known for his deep understanding of fighting, Rogan didn't hold back. He made it clear that Roach did more than just win rounds. He scored a knockout that wasn't counted. His take on the fight has only intensified the controversy.
Well, I thought it was a good fight. You didn't think
great fight, but I just champion guy taking a knee, talking about greasing his hair.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like, yo, how you just in the middle of the fight just go wipe your face?
Also, here's the deal: if you take a knee, that's a knockdown.
That's a knockdown. Subtract 2, right?
You got hit with a jab.
Yeah.
You took a knee,
and then you walked off.
Exactly. That is a knockdown.
Yeah.
So I think they're reviewing that right now.
Nah, that guy should have lost maybe.
Rogan's statement has added even more weight to Roach's case. The boxing world is now in an uproar, with many saying the sport needs better officiating. Fans are demanding answers, and some believe this could be one of the biggest robberies in recent memory. Roach's stock has never been higher, and his supporters are rallying behind him. The call for justice is growing, and the boxing community is watching closely to see what happens next. The controversy surrounding Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach is only getting bigger, with fans and analysts already calling the fight a robbery. Another powerful voice has stepped into the conversation: Canelo Alvarez. The boxing superstar didn't hold back, making it clear that Davis's actions inside the ring were unacceptable. According to Canelo, what happened in that fight should have led to a disqualification. His words have only added more pressure on Davis and the boxing commission to address the controversy.
Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
Canelo's statement has sent shockwaves through the sport, further strengthening Roach's case. Many believe that if a legend like Canelo is calling out the injustice, then something needs to be done. Roach's team is pushing even harder for a rematch, refusing to let the decision stand without a fight. Meanwhile, Davis has yet to respond to the growing backlash, staying silent as the calls for accountability grow louder. The boxing world is divided, and with stars like Canelo speaking out, the pressure on Davis and the officials is at an all-time high. Despite the growing support from boxing legends and fans, Lamont Roach took the fight beyond the ring. He officially appealed the decision. His team presented strong arguments, pointing to missed calls and controversial referee decisions. Many believe the appeal could change the outcome or at least force a rematch. However, in a move that left fans frustrated, the appeal was rejected. The ruling ensured that Davis kept his undefeated record and the controversy remained unresolved.
That they wasn't gonna overturn it?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected that. I don't really see them doing that. Tank is too big of an attraction. New York, I felt like for a while I was battling with Las Vegas for the big fights. Big fights are edging back to New York. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia was in New York. Tank was in New York with this one, with Lamont. Tank was also in New York for, was it a Rolly?
Wilder, Helenius, New York.
Wilder, Helene. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is New York trying to stay in the in the mix when it comes to the big fights. So I didn't, and the reason that matters is because they lose out on a lot of big shows if they overturn it. If they keep it a draw, we get to see the draw again in New York. That's what Tank said.
Trainer Greg Hackett weighed in on the decision, explaining why overturning the result was never likely. He pointed out how big business plays a role in boxing, with states like New York wanting to secure more major fights. Keeping the draw means another high-profile rematch, ensuring the city stays in the spotlight. While this decision benefits promoters and venues, it left Roach and his team with no choice but to push even harder for a rematch. The rejection has fueled even more outrage, with fans calling for fairness in the sport. With the appeal denied, the focus has now shifted to securing a rematch, as Roach refuses to let this fight go without a decisive ending. With the appeal denied and the controversy still fresh, the conversation has now shifted to the rematch. Roach and his team are pushing hard for another shot, believing the fight needs a decisive winner. Fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters are calling for Davis to accept the challenge and settle the debate once and for all. The first fight was competitive, and many feel a rematch would be even bigger, with both fighters now having something to prove. The demand is growing and the stage is set for a high-stakes showdown.
You gotta learn from the first fight. And you gotta bring something different, but at the same time, you still gotta be careful. That goes for both sides. You can't pick a winner. The fight was too good. You can't pick a winner. I see where Lamont neutralized Tank, and I see where Tank neutralized Lamont. Somebody gotta go even further. This might be one of them Jones, man. We might see 3 of these.
Trainer Greg Hackett shared his thoughts on the rematch, emphasizing that both fighters must make key adjustments. He pointed out that Roach must learn from the first fight and come in with a new approach, while Davis also needs to be cautious. The fight was too close to call, making a second meeting even more exciting. With no clear winner in the first bout, a rematch is the only way to settle the score. Both sides know what's at stake, and if the fight happens, it could be one of the biggest in recent boxing history. Julian Gonzalez gave his take on the rematch, acknowledging just how tough the first fight was. He admitted that he leaned toward Roach winning, but wasn't mad at the draw, recognizing how competitive the fight was. Like many others, he expects both fighters to come back stronger and deliver another war in the ring. With Davis looking to silence the doubters and Roach determined to prove he was robbed, the rematch is shaping up to be even bigger than the first fight.
Controversial draw. Who do you feel like wins the rematch?
Who wins the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come ready again. That's it. See, the first one was a tough one too. I had Lamont pulling off. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, smudge. Like I wasn't mad at the draw. You know, I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Close, yo.
Because Lamont surprised me a lot. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna say Lamont, man.
As more voices from the boxing world weigh in, the pressure continues to build on Davis to accept the rematch. Roach has already made it clear that he wants another shot, and his team is doing everything possible to make it happen. Fans are rallying behind him, believing he deserves a fair chance to get the decisive win. The controversy from the first fight hasn't faded, and a rematch is the only way to settle the score. With both fighters now having something to prove, the boxing world is gearing up for what could be one of the most anticipated fights of the year. Joe Rogan weighed in on the rematch, calling it one of the most exciting fights in the division. He pointed out that, aside from top names like Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko, there aren't many compelling challenges left for Davis. That makes the Roach rematch even bigger, not just for Roach, but for Davis as well. With the controversy from the first fight still fresh, running it back would bring huge attention and settle the debate once and for all.
It makes a rematch very exciting, though. Yeah. And I think that's great for Gervonta because other than Shakur, who's the other major star, and then Lomachenko if he decides to fight again. But other than that, there's not a lot of compelling
challenges
right.
out there for him.
So now this Lamont Roach fight becomes like the most compelling fight in the division for him.
Rogan's take has only added more weight to the growing demand for the rematch. The first fight proved that Roach is a real threat, and many believe he deserves another shot at Davis. The potential rematch isn't just about Roach proving himself, it's also a chance for Davis to show he can win convincingly. A second fight could be one of the biggest events in boxing, drawing in both casual fans and hardcore followers of the sport. With both fighters having everything to gain, the pressure is on to make it happen. Joe Rogan continued to praise Lamont Roach, highlighting his fearless performance against Gervonta Davis. He pointed out that Davis usually steamrolls his opponents, with many fighters afraid to engage with him. But Roach was different. He stepped up without fear and delivered a performance that proved he belonged among the elite. Their history in the amateurs may have played a role, but in the pros, Roach showed he was more than just a familiar face. His skill, toughness, and ability to push Davis to the limit have now made him a rising star in the division.
And everybody's scared of him. Yeah. And Lamont was not scared of him.
It's pretty
but
unique.
They have fought in the amateurs before. I think they fought twice in the amateurs. But Lamont's a new star. That guy's super legit. Super legit and very skillful. Like the way it wasn't just that like Gervonta didn't show up or Gervonta wasn't at his best. No, like Lamont fought a fantastic fight. You know what I'm excited for, man? Terrence Crawford and Canelo. That's the one.
That's gonna be a big one.
That's the one.
That's a huge fight.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
a lot of people think Terrence is too small. He weighed himself the other day. He was 185 pounds.
Rogan's words further solidify Roach's growing reputation in the boxing world. He didn't just survive against Davis. He took the fight to him and made it one of the toughest battles of Davis's career. Fans and analysts are now looking at Roach as a legitimate top contender, not just a tough opponent. His performance has changed the conversation about the lightweight division, putting his name alongside the best. With this momentum, a rematch with Davis wouldn't just be about settling controversy. It would be a fight between two of the division's biggest names, with everything on the line. Regis Prograis shared his thoughts on the rematch, leaning in favor of Gervonta Davis. He believes that if Davis and Roach meet again, Davis will stop him the second time around. Prograis pointed out that the first fight didn't go as expected, but he feels the rematch will be different. Rumors have circulated that Davis wasn't at his best mentally going into the fight, and some believe that played a role in his performance. Prograis suggests that with a clearer mindset and proper preparation, Davis will dominate the rematch.
I favor taking a rematch, to be honest.
Tell me why.
I think he'll stop him in the rematch, too.
Tell me why.
I think he'll stop him. I mean, well, I just feel like
your boy Shock said that they were sparring over there. That the round two, the next fight, we're gonna get like what we expected. Did you feel any of that?
That's what I feel, bro. I feel like the next fight, I feel like I think Tank gonna put him on the next fight. Now it's all rumors and stuff. Of course, we don't know if it's true, but I mean, I heard that Tank was going through a lot of stuff, bro. We all know, bro. Like, well, I know, but a lot of people, I mean, as a fighter, bro, it's more mental than anything. When you got a lot of stuff mentally going on, bro, like
Despite Prograis favoring Davis, many still believe Roach has what it takes to pull off the upset. His ability to match Davis in the first fight proved he's not just another opponent, he's a serious contender. If Davis was truly dealing with distractions, a focused version of him in the rematch could be an even greater challenge. However, Roach is only improving, and his confidence has skyrocketed after standing standing toe-to-toe with one of boxing's most feared punchers. The rematch wouldn't just be about settling controversy, it would be about proving who the better fighter truly is. Regis Prograis continued to discuss Davis's mindset leading up to the fight, emphasizing the mental side of boxing. He pointed out that fighters are human and deal with personal struggles just like anyone else. According to Prograis, Davis had a lot going on outside the ring, which may have affected his performance. He referenced Davis's interviews where he spoke about retirement and therapy, suggesting that his head wasn't fully in the fight. If true, this could explain why Davis didn't dominate the way many expected.
At the end of the day, bro, fighters are human just like everybody is. So we got a lot of mental going on, a lot of personal stuff going on. And when you got all that stuff going on, bro, like, it'll get in your head. You know what I'm saying? So I heard that Tank had a lot of stuff going on. And you can tell, bro, you can even hear him in the interviews. He was talking about retirement. He was talking about going to therapy. So when you hear that, bro, you know, like, he's not mentally there. He's not clear. He's not clear-headed mentally, so.
Davis's mental state has now become a major talking point in the lead up to a potential rematch. Some believe that a fully focused Davis will perform much better the second time around, while others argue that Roach's skill was the real reason the fight was so close. Regardless, the rematch is shaping up to be much bigger than the first, with both fighters having something to prove. If Davis was truly distracted before, he now has the chance to show the world what he can do at 100%. Meanwhile, Roach is more motivated than ever, knowing he came close to shocking the boxing world once and determined to finish the job in the rematch. Regis Prograis doubled down on his belief that Davis wasn't fully locked in for the first fight. He pointed out that leading up to the bout, Davis's words and body language showed signs that his mind was elsewhere. From talks about retirement to mentions of therapy, it seemed like Davis was carrying personal struggles into the ring. Prograis believes these distractions played a major role in why the fight was so competitive. However, he also made it clear that things could be very different in a rematch if Davis comes in mentally sharp. He stated, "So yeah, bro, I just felt like I felt like he was gonna have a hard fight. Just from him saying that stuff, it's just like he wasn't there, he wasn't clear. So, but I feel like in a rematch, he'll be clear." If Davis was truly distracted, a rematch could give him the perfect chance to prove himself. Without the outside noise, he could showcase the dominant form that made him one of the most feared fighters in the sport. But at the same time, Roach now has the confidence and experience to go the distance with him. Unlike the first fight, Roach knows exactly what to expect and will make adjustments to capitalize on any weaknesses. Whether Davis comes in stronger or not, Roach isn't backing down. The rematch is no longer just about settling a controversy, it's about proving who the real winner should be. Regis Prograis continued to break down the factors that may have affected Davis's performance in the first fight. He pointed out that Davis wasn't just dealing with personal struggles, but also issues within his training camp. Problems with his longtime trainer Kevin Ford may have contributed to him not being fully prepared. Prograis believes that once these distractions are cleared, Davis will return to his usual dominant self. He remains confident that a focused Davis will not only win the rematch, but do so in a convincing fashion.
And then, yeah, he has stuff going on with his trainers and stuff too, Kevin Ford and all that type of stuff too. So I feel like in a rematch, all that stuff will clear out. He's gonna be back to him, and I do feel like he's gonna win a rematch, and probably by stop.
Prograis' comments add another layer to the rematch discussion. If Davis truly wasn't at his best in the first fight, a second fight could show a completely different version of him. However, Roach isn't the same fighter either. He now has the experience of going toe-to-toe with Davis and knows what to expect. While some believe a sharper Davis will dominate, others argue that Roach has already proven he can handle the pressure. No matter how it plays out, the rematch has all the ingredients to be a massive showdown with both fighters looking to leave no doubt this time. Thanjay Teasley gave his thoughts on the rematch, admitting that it's too close to call. He acknowledged that both Davis and Roach are highly skilled and experienced, meaning they will each make key adjustments. While Davis has a unique explosiveness, Roach has proven he can match his energy and outbox him in key moments. Teasley pointed out that the first fight had everything: high energy, non-stop action, and a roaring crowd. With such a competitive matchup, he believes the rematch is completely up in the air.
And the rematch, you can't. I ain't going front. I don't know, because they're both very experienced. They're both very skilled, and I know they're both gonna make their adjustments. Now at the same time, Gervonta is just different, and so is Lamont. So it's up in the air. It's up in the air.
You just gotta see it.
Yeah, I just gotta see it. 'Cause yo, I was there in person in the first one, ecstatic. The crowd was ecstatic, the action was ecstatic, everything was back and forth. Now, my personal opinion, that first fight, it was a close fight. Even without the knee, I feel like Lamont did pull a split decision because there were certain times where Gervonta was just being Gervonta, he wasn't as active, and Lamont was doing a great job boxing-wise with a lot of his counters, and he wasn't letting Gervonta bully him at all. He was putting pressure on Gervonta when he had to. So, overall, I know a lot of people that don't know about boxing had gained even more respect for Lamont.
Kenny Ellis, Gervonta Davis's coach, gave credit to Lamont Roach, acknowledging his skill and toughness. He admitted that Roach's performance didn't come as a surprise because real fighters exist beyond the big names. Many underestimated Roach simply because he wasn't as popular as Davis, but he proved that he belonged on the big stage. Ellis recognized that boxing is full of talented fighters who just need the right opportunity to shine. Roach took his chance and made the most of it, showing the world that he was a real contender. He stated, "Roach, it wasn't a surprise. Man can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. It's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity." Ellis's comments reinforce what many have been saying. Roach is not just another opponent. He's a serious problem in the division. His performance against Davis has earned him respect from both fans and insiders in the sport. While Davis remains the bigger name, Roach has now cemented himself as a real threat to anyone at the top. The rematch won't just be about Davis proving his dominance, but also about Roach showing that his performance wasn't a one-time event. With his name now in the spotlight, Roach is ready to take his career to the next level, and a second fight with Davis could be the moment that defines him. The Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight has become one of the most talked about matchups in recent boxing history. From the controversial scorecards to the shocking claims of foul play, this fight has sparked endless debates among fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters. With Roach's appeal rejected, all roads now lead to a rematch, one that could settle everything once and for all. Davis's camp believes he will be sharper and more dominant the second time around, while Roach's supporters argue that he already proved he has the skills to beat the undefeated star. No matter which side you're on, one thing is clear: the rematch is shaping up to be an even bigger event than the first fight. Will Davis come back stronger and silence the doubters, or will Roach shock the world and prove that the first fight wasn't a fluke? Can Roach make the right adjustments to secure a clear win? Will Davis's mental focus and preparation be the difference this time around? What do you think? Should the rematch happen? Who do you believe won the first fight? Do you think Davis's distractions played a role, or was Roach simply the better fighter that night? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.